Right. Where are we going today? That's a long run. 31 hours. Oh my god. That's like a 2-hour drive. That's an hour. 6 grand.
Drive safe. Ready to turn right. Turn right.
Knowledge Fight. Dan and Jordan, I sweat it. KnowledgeFight.com. It's time to pray.
I have great respect for Knowledge Fight.
Knowledge Fight. I'm sick of them posing as if they're the good guys, saying we are the bad guys.
Right.
Knowledge
And
Fight.
then
Dan and Jordan. Knowledge Fight.
I need money.
turn right.
Andy and Jim. Andy and Jim. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
Knowledge fight.
Keep left. And
KnowledgeFight.com.
then turn left.
I love you.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
Turn
We're a
left.
couple dudes like to sit around, worship at the altar of Selene, and talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Oh, indeed we are, Dan.
Jordan.
Quick question for you.
What's up?
What's your bright spot today, buddy?
My bright spot today is actually kind of a dark spot-ish,
All right,
maybe.
fair.
I don't know.
Okay.
This Popeye thing was a big mistake.
Oh, no.
It's bad.
It's bad?
Bad stuff.
How bad?
I've watched one. I've
Okay.
had time to watch one of them. And I've watched Popeye's Revenge.
Sure.
And it does not follow any of the mythology
Okay.
of Popeye.
That's not hard to believe, but okay.
You start off the movie,
Uh-huh.
and first problem,
Yeah.
it's in the UK. And
This doesn't make sense to me.
No.
This seems very wrong.
yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
got British accents.
That's a terrible idea.
yeah, very.
You've already failed.
So that didn't feel great.
Right.
Because also he's like Popeye's in the Navy.
Yeah.
He's a sailor man.
The Navy.
Yeah, so he's a kid who has
Keep left.
giant arms.
And then
Right.
turn left.
And then he's like he kills someone at school, and then the town kills him. They're like, Frankenstein, pitchforks.
Okay.
They come after him and they try to kill
Turn
him.
left.
Okay. So the kid has monster forearms.
Big arms.
Tennis arms.
Yes.
Right? Smashes somebody, and then the village is
He
like...
doesn't know his strength.
Of course not.
Yeah.
He's just a Frankenstein's
He's
monster.
just a boy.
Yeah, okay. I gotcha.
Yep.
So then he comes back as a ghost?
Yeah, his parents locked him in a basement,
That's not
and
good.
he has a sister named Olive Oil, who's
Ugh.
also locked in the basement.
That's no good.
And then the town kills them, and then he comes back for revenge
Sure.
on these people who have done.
I mean, whatever. You got to do something with your life.
it's fucking dumb. But I
Yeah.
was watching it, and I was like, all right, I got a checklist.
Yeah.
Gotta have a pipe.
Sure. No pipe?
There's a pipe.
Okay.
He has a pipe.
Okay.
I'm like, check.
Okay. Corn cob?
No.
Ah,
There is a can of spinach that makes a brief appearance.
right.
But he doesn't have to eat spinach in order to be strong.
So
So,
the-
that sucks.
So they're showing the spinach for the real Popeye heads in there. It's like an Easter egg for the people who know the Popeye story.
One of the kills involves him like throwing a canister through a window, and it's a
Sure.
spinach can.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it's a gas can or something
Great.
like that, but it's
Okay.
spinach. Fucking stupid. He doesn't say any like I am what I am
No.
or any of that.
Nothing like that?
No.
Oh boy.
Go straight on.
And there's no Brutus. There's no Wimpy. There's not. It's if Olive Oil was forced.
Yeah.
As a sister,
It
not
seems
a love
very
interest.
forced because that's kind of the idea is that she's a love interest, but in
Turn
that
left.
40s way.
And
Yeah.
then turn
And I
left.
thought like, well, this is gonna be fun. It wasn't.
It wasn't fun.
No. But I think I
Weird.
still watch the other ones. I
Yeah.
think I still am going to, but I regret.
Are they
Turn
separate,
right.
or is this the ongoing tale of Popeye the British non-sailor boy?
They're all separate.
Okay.
And I
Fine.
think that is
We are
what
here.
makes me interested in it.
The anthology nature of this character being put in a bunch of different situations.
Well, no, so all of them are going for a cheap pop.
Sure.
Right? They're all like, it's legal to make a movie with Popeye.
That's
in
what
it.
we're doing.
So all of them are doing that.
Yes.
And they're hoping that this shit will just coast on the fact that it's like, it's a horror movie with Popeye in it. Isn't
You didn't
this
see that
clickbait?
coming. Yeah. Absolutely. 100%.
Except, like, they're not the only ones doing it.
Right.
Like, if there were 4 different Sharknado movies at the same time,
Yeah.
you would have to judge them against each other.
Yeah, that's true. That is the one thing about copyright IP is that it's like there's at least one person or at least one vision behind this thing, as opposed to being a bunch of people creating their own visions to fight in a death match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, but more to the point, like, if there was one person who was stealing this IP and getting away with it, then they could just be like, well, it's the Popeye horror movie.
Sure.
But since there's a bunch of them,
Yeah.
now it's like, well, you might not be as good at ripping this off as someone else.
That would be a real, or it would be a hit to the ego if you weren't already doing something that should be a hit to the ego, right? Mm-hmm. Like the by virtue of making a Popeye movie, like, oh shit, it's in the public domain. I gotta make it. I gotta make it. It's kind of like, well, I'm not creating my own characters.
No.
Yeah.
and it's British.
Yeah,
And he's
Jesus.
not in the Marines
That's
or in the Navy.
wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called the Navy. It's not called the Royal Navy.
Yeah. Popeye would not be, he's not British.
Yeah.
We know one thing.
He's not British.
No.
He's not on the HMS fucking anything.
He does not respect the Queen.
No one should.
So it's your bright spot.
My bright spot, I'm going to have to go with tennis.
Oh, boy.
No, the Cincinnati Open's been weird.
There's a Cincinnati Open?
The
left.
Western and Southern Open.
That feels such a downgrade from some of the other Opens.
Do you mean like Monte Carlo or
Yeah.
Madrid
Yeah.
or any number of other places?
Cincy.
But I'll tell you this, I went there for 1 year, and it's a
Turn
lot of fun.
right.
I got to see Serena, I got to see Federer. It's really cool. It is, of course, tennis in Cincinnati, Ohio. So you get what you get.
Sure. Cincinnati doesn't suck. It's not like a terrible
No.
city or anything.
No, but it's
compared
not
to,
Madrid.
Right.
What are you talking? Come on. I even like Cincinnati, but not like Madrid.
Yeah, tennis to me seems
Go
like
straight on.
something I associate with some kind of like pretty rich
Yeah.
locale.
Sure.
That's why it's weird.
Right. But yeah, no, it's great. And then this tournament has been a real kind of weird one. The heat is
Keep
making
left,
everybody die,
and then
naturally.
turn left.
Tennis has got a long future ahead of us for about 5 years until climate change ends it forever.
It'll all be
Turn
indoors.
It'll
left.
all be indoors. Yeah. But yeah, and then in the final, though, we're getting Alcaraz and Sinner. And it's happening again. It's going to happen over and over and over. It's the two of them versus everyone else in the world.
How long does that stay interesting for you?
Forever.
Yeah.
Djokovic and Rafa played like 50 times, and the two of them playing was always going to be one of the most amazing things because it is only ever possible to play as good as the person you're playing against. Like if you want to play the best, you have to have a partner who can equal you.
Yeah.
And so every time they have to try and equal each other, and in so doing, they have to create something that hasn't been there before.
Right.
It's just fantastical.
True rivalries.
Yeah.
You can see them 100 times. It doesn't matter.
Absolutely, because you're like, this person made this great shot in another match, and that's cool. But in these matches, this person made this great shot, and then this person got it back, and so they have to then up their game even more in order to make that next shot.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's the level that
Yeah.
you're never going to see against anybody else. That second, it's great. Yep, I can do it all the time.
What is Cincinnati? Is that like one of the top tier?
It's an ATP
Opens?
1000, yeah.
Like how many are in that tier?
I think somewhere in the like 10 to 15 range.
Wow.
So there's
left,
250s.
and then
Those are the
turn
lowest
left.
levels for still professional tour. Below that is the challenger level. That's where you're not
Turn
in
left.
the actual cool kids table yet.
That's where it's like CT
Yeah, you got to get your points up to get in there. Yeah, basically.
playing against
Turbos
Laurel
right
and
there.
Turbo.
Yeah. Then there's 500s, and then there's 1000s, and then right above that is the majors. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
10 to 15. So there's like Madrid, there's like
Um,
Monte Carlo,
yeah.
Cincinnati, DeKalb.
It might be more like 6 or 7, but it could be. I don't know. I'm having a weird. I don't even know how many months there are.
I think 8.
Yeah, shit.
So,
Too many.
Jordan, today we have an episode to go over.
All right.
We're going to be taking a little bit of a jump from where we were, and because we have the world is in such a place that we cannot dwell forever in Alex's back and forthness
Right.
on Epstein. Although, as much fun as it would be to see him try and waffle around and figure out how to play
Yeah.
every single breaking ball
For weeks.
we are jumping to July 30th.
All right.
And this is a monumental day where Alex has a debate, and
God.
we'll check in on that here in a second. But
Does
first,
ChatGPT have a new
I
model
wish.
out that we're debating?
I wish that would be amazing. ChatGPT, should I leave Trump? Does he love me?
Yes and no.
ChatGPT, what is love? So we'll get down to this, but first let's take a little moment to say hello to some new wonks.
That's a great idea.
So first, Splat, Mark, RJ, some call it globalism, I call it Sling Blade. Thank you so much. Your now balls are wrong.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, winner, Big Ding Dong Adult. Thank you so much. Your now balls are wrong.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And Foxel. in pixel or voxel, not like the Spanish he, the. Thank you so much. You're now Policy Wonk.
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we get a technical credit mix drop. So thank you so much to J-Dog Big D. Thank you so much. You're now a technocrat.
I'm a policy wonk.
4 stars. Don't honk your mouth and tell her you're brilliant.
Someone sodomite sent me a bucket of poop.
Daddy Shark. Jar Jar Binks has a Caribbean black accent. He's a loser little kitty baby. I don't want to hate black people. I renounce Jesus Christ.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much.
So last we left off, Alex he'd made it pretty clear that there wasn't really much that was going to shake him from supporting Trump. Doesn't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Can't. Gonna give him an F, though, whenever he needs it, although that F will have no consequences or meaning whatsoever to it.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's going to get a participation trophy for presidenting.
100% of the time.
And that's good enough, and that's criticism. So we experienced a good 10 days of Alex trying to figure out what he was going to do, how he was going to thread this needle. Trump called him stupid.
Yep.
Trump called everyone I don't want your support anymore, you fucking idiots who care about Epstein.
Yep.
And Alex was able to get past that, so it seems like,
Just a little blow up. Just a little dust up, you know.
yeah, he was a little mad.
Yeah.
So since this point, things have deteriorated even more.
I can't believe that.
We have such things happening as Ghislaine Maxwell is talking with the Department of Justice.
Sure.
She's been transferred to a minimum security prison.
Well, she's a good person.
Against the wishes of Epstein victims' families.
There were no victims' families, I believe, if I recall the FBI correctly.
It's, well, I don't know if they said there were no victims, but there was no actionable things for them to do or something like that. But either way,
Yeah.
she is dangerously close to a pardon.
Oh, yeah.
And that's pretty tough. Simultaneously, Trump has come out and said that he stopped hanging out with Epstein because he stole Virginia Giuffre from him.
Yep.
He phrased it incredibly poorly.
No, it's great. That's what you want to hear from the sitting president.
Yeah, he phrased it in a way that her family was a bit shocked and dismayed by the idea that the president was aware that their child was stolen.
Yep. Yeah.
So everything's bad.
Yeah.
Alex is trying to stay above water. And there is one person who's delighted in all of this. And that is the person that Alex has unfortunately made too good of friends with.
Oh, God, it's Fuentes, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
Oh, my God.
So on the 30th,
Yeah.
in the evening, Alex sits down for a special debate with Nick about what do we do? What do we do?
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a fair debate. I would actually be way more fine with more debates if they were just like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alex has a situation where Nick has this fuck Trump attitude.
Yeah.
Alex kind of wishes he could get there.
Sure.
But also can't. So the two of them are going to have a little conversation where they hash out all the beats of what to do.
This is the most like Nazi version of it's fine to be a punk whenever you're young, but I have kids at home to feed, so I can't do all of this stuff. But also you're Nazis. Yeah.
And also, I really want to do all that punk stuff.
I really want to be a cooler Nazi.
Oh, also, I forgot the other thing that has happened is that the Wall Street Journal published a letter that Trump allegedly wrote to Epstein, which was a little drawing of a naked lady.
Yep.
And the pubes were his signature.
Yep.
And did you actually read the contents of that note?
I did not read the contents of that note.
You didn't?
No. Listen, what am I going to do with it? I'm already sold. Like once you've sold me, you can stop selling me. I was way past Trump was a pedophile a long time ago. There's no amount of words that are gonna make that even better or worse.
Okay, so I'm gonna read this to you.
Okay, fine.
Because I think you need to confront this.
All right, fine.
So it's written as a dialogue. The note.
The note.
That was for Epstein's 50th birthday.
The note written by the president
Allegedly.
for the Epstein.
We have to say allegedly because he did sue the Wall Street Journal for publishing this.
Oh God.
So voiceover. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age, have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. So, yeah, it's a little suspicious.
That is
It's
okay.
weird.
That is a note that could only be written by somebody who is a fictional globalist in Alex Jones's worldview 20 years ago. That note doesn't exist in the real world. So I assume that we have been transported into some sort of last action hero version of reality where everything is an amplified version, because that cannot be real.
It's one of the weirder things that's ever been published, and they've stood by their reporting.
Of
and
course they
sourcing,
have.
and-
What else are you going to do?
Yeah,
Look at it.
And so, if real, that's one of the most fucked up things.
It's all the more believable because of how bad and stupid it is. You would have to be an insane person to write that. You couldn't fake it because that's so specifically insane.
Yeah.
You cannot fake that. I couldn't. If I had a million monkeys writing a million typewriters, we'd get to Shakespeare, but not that shit. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. People have said that there's some great scripts out there that have been written.
Yeah.
They capture something.
Yeah, this is very Chekhovian, I would say.
Impossible.
Yeah.
So Alex is, these are the things that are swirling in the background.
Right.
That people are talking about, and Alex is like, fuck.
Shit.
So why not have little baby Nazi come in to
Now's the time.
Look right. So Alex starts off, and the position that he's coming into this with is jury's out on Trump. I don't know about it.
4 days ago, Trump put out that Justice Department memo. I said, Trump's behind it. People said, oh, you're attacking Trump. And then he came out later and said, no, it's me. Don't ask questions. Shut up about it. I said, this is incredibly suspicious. And now they're running around with the Justice Department meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell. It looks bad. But people taking what I've said out of context when I'm wargaming this, because I think they would have used information against Trump if they had it before. With that said, now the jury's out on Trump. The jury's in on the Democrats and Epstein Island and Bill Gates and Larry Summers and all the rest of it. So I'm not an apologist for Trump. All I get is persecuted and attacked for supporting President Trump.
Keep left.
And I've seen clips of Nick. I played it earlier before he came on. And I'm not saying it's a wrong critique, but out of context, you can see it. No, I'm looking for the truth. And my issue is, do we throw out Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard and all the good things that are happening? If stuff comes out that he's screwing kids with Trump, of course, I'm going to expose it. I mean, I'm not tied to that wagon. But in the larger issue, is the Epstein issue the only issue? And it's not like Nick Fuentes just came out and said, I mean, it's Trump now. He said it a year and a half ago. He was a big supporter early on. It's not many 9 years ago. I think Nick's a smart guy, and I agree with most of the things he says is some. So, we are having a large discussion. We call it a debate here. But I want to be 100% clear. I will go where the facts lead. I'm not an apologist for Trump. But at the same time, we need to recognize that the Democrats and the ADL and the Republicans joining him do not want this discussion. They do not want Nick J. Fuentes on Rumble. They do not want Alex Jones on X or InfoWars. They do not like this tonight because they don't want you to hear a real, unfiltered discussion.
So the fact of the matter is that Alex can say he's not an apologist for Trump, but the framing of this conversation in and of itself is apologetic to Trump. He fundamentally can't get away from this. The conversation is, do we give Trump a pass?
Right.
Do we allow him to hold on to power because it's better for us, even though this very obvious shit is disqualifying?
Right. Craven? No Craven. Which side are you on?
Yeah, and that there is no option within there that is let's deal with this as it is.
I mean, it is it's one of the more annoying things that I think people of Alex's ilk do. Of the like, I am not this guy, but for the time being in this situation, I'm going to be this guy. But I want you to know that that doesn't make me that guy. It just means that so long as we are in this situation, the situation that if I were that guy, this guy would be doing what I'm doing. Thus, I would be that guy in this situation, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah, and I'm only being that guy in a wargaming context.
Yeah.
Now, if it works, I'm going to keep being that guy.
I mean, I'm going to keep being that guy, but that's only because it works.
Right. Now, if it doesn't work, I'm going to disown that position and claim I was just wargaming.
He's never that guy. What are you doing? Crazy?
Right.
Come on.
It's so manipulative and shit.
Yep.
So Nick comes on, and he has an entirely different position from Alex.
Yeah.
Alex is like, we need to have a discussion. Do we throw Trump out with the bathwater? And Nick's like, why are we even talking about this? Nothing matters if Trump is doing this.
Now, that gets to my biggest criticism of Trump.
right.
And you said this a moment ago, and I understand where you're coming from. You say, are there other issues besides the Epstein issue? I've heard a lot of people say this. They say that for the MAGA base, which I consider myself a part of, even though I didn't vote for Trump, I'm the demographic.
Get ready to turn left.
If the MAGA base is in revolt over the Epstein files, people say, are you throwing out the baby with the bathwater? What about the secure
Turn left.
border? What about the progress that's being made, as you say, by RFK Jr., by Tulsi Gabbard, the good things that are happening in the administration? Is it worth it, in other words, people say? If he's failing on one narrow issue like Epstein, which people say realistically doesn't actually affect people's daily lives, they say, is that a mistake? Now, my position is that you can't compartmentalize these issues. Contrary to that take or that defense, I don't think you're capable. I don't think it's possible
Get ready
to
to turn
separate and cordon off the Epstein issue and say that's over here, and immigration and foreign policy and the rest of it is over there. Because the proposition
Turn
of the
right.
first Trump campaign going back 10 years ago in 2016, or even in 2015 when Trump ran in the primary, he said that the reason that our politicians had failed us over 30 years on both sides, Republican side, Democrat side, the right and the left, he said is not for a lack of trying, not for a lack of will. He said it's because the system has failed us. It's because of corruption. They can't deliver a real victory because they're not beholden to the people. Instead, they're beholden to foreign interests, special interests, donors, political PACs. And there was a suggestion of blackmail. There's a suggestion of a shadow operation happening behind the scenes.
So Nick is basically explaining to Alex why, like, hey, this is why this issue is supposed to matter to us. There is the emotional, visceral disgust at these crimes. Yes,
Right.
that's absolutely true.
Sure.
But then there's also the whole thing that we've built up that is, if this system exists, it's being used
Right.
to control and manipulate power.
Right.
And now Trump has signaled that he is fine with being a part of that or covering that up.
Right. We were having a great time whenever we thought that it was fun to just talk about stuff like this happening. Now, this is happening, and it's our guy. So it makes us feel real fucking dumb.
Yeah.
Real dumb.
And that's where Nick has this freedom of,
Yeah.
like, he's not my guy.
Nope.
I want somebody way worse than him.
Yep.
I have always wanted someone way worse
This
than
guy
him.
is too fucking flip-floppy to be Hitler. Hitler didn't change his mind. Final solution. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and so I think that this is a really tough position for Alex to try and deal with because he's cutting to the core of, like, what does the Epstein situation mean?
Yeah.
What is the importance of this? And Trump's acting in a way that is violating why we care.
Yeah.
As opposed to it just being a superficial thing.
Yeah.
And because of that, you can't just cordon it off and be like, he's bad here, he's good here. It's
Yeah.
all bad.
Yeah. No, it's already more interesting out the gate simply because in general most of these debates and most all debates in general wind up with two people talking about a thing but never actually addressing the thing. And then going off in different areas so they don't actually have to address the thing. This is very clearly like there's only one thing. Either this is or isn't. We've run out of everything else, so now let's try reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it sucks that this, like, Nazi asshole is the person who's being that voice on Alex's show. But that's the position that Alex has put himself in.
Yep.
Where he has to look like a real idiot.
Yeah.
Next to
Yeah.
a horrible person.
It is not because of Nick Fuentes' positive traits that this is happening. It is entirely because of Alex's negative traits that this is occurring.
Yeah.
There is no need to worry about giving it up to the Somali pirates in this regard.
Yeah,
we're
it's
fine.
It's a bind that is kind
Yeah.
of a necessary or inevitable thing with this kind of media space.
Yeah. Yep.
So Nick, one of the other things too is that he is not uncomfortable with taking Alex's points.
Sure.
Whereas I don't think it works the other direction. So like Alex's only real argument for keeping Trump and looking past the Epstein stuff is like all of the other stuff that's
Yeah.
happening. You
Sure.
know, like border stuff.
Sure.
And Nick is fine being like, no, that stuff's not good.
To answer maybe the big defense of Trump, and I agree with you, we have to steel man the other position. We may not even agree with it. We might state it simply to entertain it. If the pro-Trump side is saying, if their argument is, well, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, the Epstein thing is a narrow, singular issue, if that's the primary defense, I would have to say it's not good enough, because if he's named in these files, then everything is compromised. Everything is touched and poisoned by the corruption. And when this cover-up is going on, unfortunately, we cannot assume that he is not touched by it. We actually have to draw a negative inference. That's sort of the whole point. And I, like you, I actually don't believe that Trump is necessarily guilty. I think that is a assumption. I think that's an inference. I don't even think it's necessarily true that Trump was on the island, or that Trump was raping kids, or that there's a videotape of Trump. I don't think that's even likely. But when he has covered it up in the way that he has, and as he's dug this hole deeper and deeper, having the DOJ cover it up, asking the FBI to look for his name. They told him his name was in there. Now he says his name was planted in there. He says the whole thing's a hoax. You actually have to draw a negative inference and assume if he's covering it up, there must be something there. If there wasn't something there, they would release the files. And so that's why I think this entire thing has disqualified him completely. I don't think it's one narrow issue, a singular issue among others. And even if it were, it's not a minimal issue. I think it touches everything.
So, I mean, there's almost just a sense of like, don't be stupid. That he's...
Yeah.
And not in so few words, but that's kind of like a why the fuck would this be happening if we, you know,
Let's find
a
a new
negative
route.
inference is required at this point.
Yeah.
He called you stupid.
You are stupid. You are stupid because he called you that, and now you're behaving that way. There's no other way to describe it.
So I feel like Nick's already essentially dispensed with the best weapons that Alex has,
Yeah.
which is like the don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Sure.
We're getting
Get
some
ready
good
to
things.
turn
up.
RFK's good. Homan's good.
Right? If it weren't for them, it could be somebody worse, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
We've already been there.
And Nick has essentially disarmed all that.
We've been
Turn
doing
left.
this for 20 years. We're past it.
And now Nick goes on the offensive, even just in his opening,
Sure.
like volley, and is just like, and also, Trump sucks.
And to your point about what comes next, because that's a very good question. A lot of people wonder if Trump is failing, or that's the perception on many of these issues, like the foreign policy, like immigration, like the Epstein cover-up. The question is, well, what comes next? Are we at the mercy of the left now? Are we supposed to now just be buried under Zohran Mamdani's and Kamala
Keep left.
Harris's and race communists and Sharia law and this sort of thing? What I
At the same time?
Trump is this simple adage: when you come at the king, you can't miss. And what does that mean? Well, obviously, we all understand what that means. It means that when you come for the king, you have to finish the job. You cannot take half measures. It's actually worse to take a half measure, because if you come at the king and you miss, all you do is make the king mad. And the king has an army, and the king has power. So if Trump, and when I say the king, of course I'm not even referring to Trump, I'm referring to this left-wing political system. Is that it? If Trump has been coming at the king for 10 years, with the 16 campaign, with January 6th, with the revenge campaign in 24, if that is a 10-year campaign going after the king, and he's missing over and over, failing to purge the bureaucracy, failing to implement Project 2025, failing to fire 50,000 employees, have the mass deportations, if it's this slow, if it's so unable ambitious, if he's already compromising and walking back, and people are having to come up with defenses for it, well, what are we doing? All we're doing is pissing off the people that really run the world. And if you miss, they get the next reply. And they're going to come after all of us hard. Trump, you, me, the supporters, the people in the administration. We learned that the hard way after January 6th.
So now Nick is put Alex in a position where he needs to be like, well, the deportations are good enough, or something.
Yeah.
Alex has to play that like, well, it's good enough, and Nick be like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Trump is ineffective. He is not doing the things that we all wanted him to do.
Yeah.
And that puts Alex in just a fundamentally weak position.
Yeah. No, this is fascinating. I find this very fascinating because, first off, what Nick Fuentes has described is a fiction that I would never have imagined. Like the complete rewriting of who Trump is, like that's crazy. If you think any of those things were ever happening, that's crazy. Like this is crazy. Do you believe? Like I'm wondering if
You mean
he
the
actually
10-year campaign?
Yeah, I wonder if he actually believes any of what he's saying, or if he's trying to say the things that he think Alex believes, and that way we can have a communication in there. Like,
I think
I'm going to step into your world.
I think it's a little bit of that,
Yeah.
and then I think it's also a little bit of authoritarian myth building.
Right.
You know, like Trump has waged this campaign, and even that wasn't good enough,
Ugh.
and so therefore we must have Hitler.
It's like, man, what a fucking lunatic. If you see the world with that point of view, I'm flabbergasted. That's what the word flabbergasted was invented for. Finding a worldview like that, where Donald Trump has been crusading on your behalf.
Well, I think it's probably the most effective way that someone in Nick's position can use Trump. now.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, as a crusader, sure.
Yeah, and as a failed extreme-ish option,
Too
but
weak.
not nearly extreme enough. And it's also a way, like you're saying, to bridge the gap between people who are Trump fans and get them to lean a little bit closer to, what Nick is offering. It is kind of like a way to not humiliate the people you want to recruit.
Right. Right. I mean, it's just so wild because I get what he's saying, but like you understand that he was in the.
So the two of these dudes could not come off more different.
Yeah.
Nick seems like a sharp guy who's
Yeah.
willing to confront difficult
He's
questions head on.
he's ready for blood.
And
Yeah.
Alex sounds kind of like an old drunk.
And for the purpose of this debate or conversation, we can dispense with the rhetoric and just speak in practical terms. Where do we go from here? Because, like you said, we're very short on answers, and it's left us with a lot of questions. So that's sort of where I'm at.
Powerful 10 minutes, Nick. Aggravating said. So I'm in full horror. They will indict me for sure. They get back in. I want Trump to be successful. And then I watched him 24 days ago literally come out and say, through that memo, don't investigate. He killed himself. It wasn't even trafficking, though. His co-conspirators in jail for it. And then they said, I got attacked by all the MAGA influencers. Said you're a traitor. And then Trump, 2 days later, yeah, I'm behind it. Shut it down. So I'm in full horror mode. Let me ask you this question. So I'm not going to spend 2 minutes countering back. I don't know what you have to say. How could Trump, even he was raping kids, which you said there's some evidence of that. It's obvious the CIA and Assange made a deal. That's what I've been told by the White House. Like, hey, we got to make a deal with national security. At least when they told me, that makes sense. Why then would they bring attention to it and behave like this? Well, he's 79. He is been 9 years basically as the president. I couldn't handle this at 51. And the truth is that Trump doesn't give up. He doesn't break down, but he cracks up.
Okay, so this is kind of apology for Trump. Like this is kind of apology.
Do you mean like whenever you say, I accuse this man of doing this thing, and then I say, I'm sorry. He is sometimes very stubborn. I'm sorry. He's very old. I'm sorry. I understand that your criticisms are accurate. I am apologizing apologizing on his behalf, giving you an excuse or reason that does not actually address your criticism whatsoever.
Yeah, and leads you away from the obvious conclusion
Yeah.
that Nick is clearly
Yeah.
pointing at.
Yeah, that does seem like what an apologist would do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that there's such a vibe here. I don't know if Alex and his old buddy Tito have reunited,
Yeah.
or if it's just in the evening and Alex is tired.
Could be.
I'm not totally sure, but the vibe that you get is Nick being like, let's cut through the rhetoric, no bullshit.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about what we can do
Yep.
moving forward for
Yeah.
the authoritarian fascist movement that we obviously both support.
Right.
And Alex is like, how did Trump do this to me?
Right.
He sounds like
Yeah.
a guy who's been broken up with, who's drunk,
Yeah.
trying to commiserate with Nick about, like, why didn't Trump love me enough?
It is literally just sitting here being like, listen, Yeller's going out back. But, I love old Yeller. He's so good. He's not even feeling good. He's not feeling good. We have to do the right thing. I'm taking Yeller out back. Oh, come on. You don't want to take him out back. Come
But
on.
it sucks when it's the kid convincing the dad.
I know. Like, this is drunk dad being like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah, the story's supposed to go the other way.
Very much so.
So Nick talks about this point that Alex has made, this cracking up,
Yes.
and I think it's fascinating, this framework.
Okay.
If Trump is failing us, if he's failing as a guy, and I agree with you, there's some sympathy with it. You don't say it to be mean. You don't say it even necessarily to be critical, but just descriptively, this is an old man. He has been fighting for a long time. He is tired, and you can see that he can't handle it. You can see that it is a crack up, that he cannot handle these
Finding a
questions.
new
And
route.
Back.
you watch these press conferences, these interviews, it's extraordinary the
Turn
way he
right.
keeps digging, the way he gets asked about it. And puts his foot in his mouth with this sort of, oh,
Never
well,
mind.
we need to just
I'll
stop
find a
thinking
new
about
route.
that, and it's a Democrat hoax. And you say, how is it even possible that he's fumbling this hard? So much so that people are saying maybe it's calculated, because it is not possible to mess it up this bad.
See, this why I find this really interesting is like, why is he fumbling this so bad? Why does he keep digging his heels in?
Yeah.
This is what Trump does with everything.
Every single thing. What are you fucking talking about? Since he's appeared in life,
Yeah.
this is him.
Yeah, there is no cracking up. There's not like, this isn't different in any way. The only thing that's different is he has found one issue that this media space does not want to go along with.
Yep.
All the other times, every other example that they can come up with of like times when that Trump didn't act like this, he was. He acted the same way about Russia, about Stormy Daniels, about all of these other things. It's just that the
You
media-
guys thought it was fun.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You wanted to play. You don't
Go
want to play
straight
this
on.
time.
Right. It was a lot of fun whenever he was making fun of a journalist with physical ailments. But it's not fun now whenever he's making us feel like we're complicit in the raping of children.
Right.
Well, that's no fun.
Yep. So there's like an inability to recognize that like this is what this guy does. This is in line with his past behavior.
Well, I mean, if you acknowledge it for 1 second that this is his MO, then it works retroactively. Then you have to go back and go, oh fuck, oh shit, oh fuck, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It unravels a ton, and
Yeah.
it's more convenient to just be like, it's ironic because Nick is saying, like, you can't compartmentalize this.
Yeah.
If Trump's covering this up, it touches all of these other things.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, he's trying to compartmentalize this in terms of like Trump's response being somehow different.
I mean, anytime you get to the place where somebody says something along the lines of like, it has to be calculated because there's no way somebody could do this. It is them actually saying this. If they're smart, I'm smart. If they're dumb, I'm dumb. And I don't want to be dumb.
No.
So they have to be smart.
Yeah.
So this dumb thing can't be dumb, otherwise I'm dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nick has a position that I think Alex doesn't like to hear, and that is that there's no way to fix this with personnel changes.
Can we get a new running back?
Yeah, you're not going to be able to get anything because, like, it's basically exactly what we wanted, and it still sucks.
And he's totally exuberant, has this like God complex situation. And so we're kind of strapped in for the next 3 years. And I would say 8 years ago, what I would have said, what is our course of action? I would have said, we have to fight of staff. We got to get Susie Wiles out. We got to get control of the White House, wrest control of it from the bad personnel, get the good advisors in. You know, but we did that already. And even now, I don't think it's possible. I think that this is just how it's been the entire time. And, you know, Trump, if he knows how to get in touch with you, he knows how to get in touch with all these people that are critical, he won't do it. You know, and by the way, the people that are at the FBI, it's Kash Patel, it's Dan Bongino, it's Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr., Elon Musk was on the team. So you would say, who would he call to get him out of the mess? Who would be the dream team personnel that could steer the ship away from the rocks? Well, they're already kind of there. I mean, what could we have better? You know, if we're thinking about MAGA personnel that you could plug in that could solve the problem that represents the base, could you do much better than Kash Patel and Dan Bongino? Could you do much better than Vivek? And not to say that these are the best people ever, but these are pretty MAGA people. These are pretty outside the system people to bring in. And so you wonder if they can.
And I want to, like, I just have to say this. I had a bunch of calls the last 2 weeks. All the calls go like this. And I've never asked for anything. What I want is some calls. I want you to decide. And so,
Heads. We want heads.
I want Make America Great Again. I want America First. So there's a real understanding in this administration that we're in charge. This is the way it is. And the fact that I get these calls, like the top of the administration, and they're just cut and dry. What do you want? And I'm just like,
If you're Nick, you just got to be sitting there like, sure, you do a bath.
What is happening?
Sure. Go to bed.
Oh my God.
All right. So what are we doing now? I was telling you about something, but now you're just...
Nick was making a very good point. That is, like, who are you going to replace with someone better or someone weirder?
Right.
It's impossible. You've already got all of these fucking people who've been in these places.
Right.
And Alex is like, all right, that's real.
None of it is real!
What else calls me and they say, what do you want? And the implication of the White House calling him and saying, what do you want?
Yeah.
Is kind of like they're saying, hey,
What's it going to take to shut you up?
right.
Yep. Thus making a quiet backroom deal with the media
It feels
in order
corrupt.
to obtain positive coverage in spite of reality.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I feel like that is actually
Keep
worse.
left.
That makes things look worse.
It does. It doesn't
for
make
Trump.
things look good. No.
Yeah. So Alex is like, he's in a position where he's like, I gotta run.
Yeah. That's an acceptable response. I'll take that.
I gotta run away.
I'll take it.
South America's calling.
Yes. Go.
he's negotiating with Russia and China, North Korea, and Iran. And just a week ago, had a meeting with Zelensky and said, maybe we'll give you heavy bombs to bomb Moscow. And now they may overthrow Zelensky. So you get this idea that it's like this swirling, crazy town. That last week was that meeting they had, the cabinet meeting, and Ratcliffe literally leans back and goes, like gaming out in the meeting, going like, and I'm just like, literally looking at places to run to in the southern hemisphere for nuclear war. And I'm not the kind of guy that runs. My instincts are run. And the Democrats want to defeat Trump, and the Democrats want to rape our kids. I know they're bad. And then you got all this crazy Trump delusion, and I smell death. And so you're up in Chicago, I'm in Austin, big cities. This is real world
Keep
stuff.
right,
So,
and then turn right.
at this point, I just want listeners and viewers to know. Let me ask you this, Dick. Commentary
Turn
is the
right.
Armageddon flavor of this, but then larger issue, is there any way to extricate Trump? Is there any path, in your view, out of this?
Do you
Keep
smell death?
right.
Do you smell death? Can we save Trump? He keeps asking him like over and over again, can we keep Trump? Is there a way out of this?
Cannot be more clear. If all three of us are standing on a cliff top, it is your and my responsibility to push him off that cliff.
That's what Nick is saying.
Yeah.
And Alex is like, I kind of want to hold on to it.
Hold on to... No. Remember all the things you don't... Remember all the things you're saying.
But-
I can be quiet. I can be dead silent.
right,
Remember all the things
then turn
you're
right.
saying. That's why we're pushing him off.
He's precious to me, though.
I understand all those things, but that. Actually, including that.
right.
That also includes why we should push him off. He's too precious to you.
Alex asks Nick that probably 20 times
I
in the
bet.
interview because it's clearly the conversation that Alex wants to have.
Yeah.
Like, is there a path?
Yeah.
And every time Nick is like, no.
I mean, it is metaphorically, essentially like, well, can't I keep doing what I'm doing? No, you can't. You change or die. That's it.
Yeah, we have identified a fundamental problem.
Yep.
Can I act like
We haven't?
Yeah.
No.
No. So yeah, Alex desperately wants to keep Trump
Right.
and keep things as they are because there's a lot of proximity to power built into that.
Yeah.
But Nick's coming in and
right,
he's just like, it's
and
time
then
to
turn
think about
right.
the future. What's next?
What do we want after Trump? Because when he
Turn
leaves
right.
office and most likely pardons himself, you and I will still be here picking up the pieces. And even to the extent that we criticize Trump or have criticized Trump, it will make no
It's
difference
always
when the left persecutes us. So even though I didn't vote for him, even though you've been fair and objective and critical, it will make no difference when the Democrats come in and clap back on all of us on the entire right wing. And we will
If
not
only.
get a presidential pardon. So we'll be sweeping up after him one way or the other. We have to start to think, what is our lives? What is our political movement? What is MAGA, the populist America First movement? What will it be when Trump sunsets? And I think he's already in a meaningful way sunsetted. There's just nothing new there. It's not dynamic, it's not progressive, it's not forward thinking. It's just sort of static and waiting to be resolved, waiting for him to exit stage left. We have to start to think in 2028, what is the next phase? What is the next booster rocket after Trump decouples? What will that be?
So let's speak
And I
to that.
think
What is the next phase?
Excuse me.
Because Trump did not defend free speech when I got taken off and you got taken off and everything. Elon, because I only give credit where it's due, he is the champion of that. They ran him off. Susan Wiles didn't like him. But we're all living under that umbrella. Trump wouldn't have gotten in without Elon, in my view. What is your view on that? And so what is the Elon wild card there?
Well, what is interesting about Elon is introducing this America Party. I'm actually interested to see where that goes.
So Alex, it's kind of like, can we just transfer this to Elon? Can we just do that? Maybe we can just pretend that Elon's Trump.
Man,
And Nick's take on it is not as cut and dry as the end of that clip might make it seem.
Yeah.
He thinks that Elon has some good potential as a guy who likes white people.
Right.
Quite a bit.
Right.
But also he's essentially an oligarch and
Right.
like is he going to be any different? Probably not.
I mean, yeah, your option is like, can we love bomb an oligarch into doing more whiteness stuff? Yeah. But eventually we'll run out of the same things to talk about, and he'll be like, I was on Epstein Island too, and we're right back where we started.
It's not a long-term solution, but
Yeah.
it might be a band-aid.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit of a way to pivot over into the actual
Yeah.
next leader.
We'll see.
So I think that Alex, you can tell, is like, this sucks.
Yeah,
I fucking hate this.
he's been drinking again.
I don't know. He might just be really tired.
He
I'm
could be.
reserving judgment.
This feels very similar to the way that we've heard him speak in our previous episodes wherein he had indulged.
Yes, that is true. There is a flavor.
There's a similarity, yeah.
But I'm not convinced just yet. I want to see some hatchets.
I get you. I'm on your team.
But he's bummed out, and like this is the worst. Nick, on the other hand, is trying to explain to him, buddy, this is good.
This is the best day of our lives.
We can get people so much further to the right
Yep.
if we just play our cards right here.
Yeah.
With Trump disintegrating, it's actually presenting a real opportunity, especially in the way that he's disintegrating.
So wait,
With
are
this-
you an accelerationist or what are you saying?
I don't know that I'm an accelerationist. I'm not rooting for the country to break apart, but I do believe that Trump occupying this seat is holding back something more right-wing. I think that Trump is, I'm maybe a political accelerationist. And what I mean by that is I don't want the worst case scenario to happen for America to collapse so that then, I'm not an accelerationist in that way. But in terms of the GOP,
You want to wake
I think
people
that
up,
the-
though. You want to have the wake-up call.
Yeah, I think the controlled opposition needs to be defeated. We need to accelerate the political controlled
So
opposition.
let's look at it this way. Why do they want you up here? Let's just say Andy runs it. That's the see it. What are they scared about? We're not trying to bring ourselves into this, folks. We're not Hunter S. Thompson, but it's true.
Jesus Christ.
Why do they want you off the air? Why do they want me off the air? What are we doing with the power structure?
Ready to roll.
Well, what they don't like about you is that you are an independent media outlet. You have too big of a studio, too big of an operation, too big of an audience. They want to control that. I think with me, I never had an operation as big as yours. We get into it at different times and different circumstances and things like that. I think what they fear about me, and I've seen it even on TikTok the other day, there was like this liberal kid, and he goes, the left is not talking about the rise of Nick Fuentes, and that's a problem. The left is starting to like Nick Fuentes because he criticizes Trump. I know, and I hate saying my own name. I think it sounds like narcissistic, but what they fear about me is that what I am proposing is a novel and truly reactionary alternative to what we get even from the GOP. You know, in 16, they used to say, and maybe you remember this, but in 15 and 16, they would say they hated Ted Cruz more than Trump because they said Ted Cruz was a true believer. He's a true radical, a true... Now, I don't think that's true, but there is this premise that they never feared Trump as much because they recognized that Trump was a deal maker, would make concessions. They recognized that Trump was not an ideologue. He really was a demagogue the whole time, by definition. Whereas me, my movement, being very young, being very fanatical, and being very radical, we do represent a threat in the sense that when all of these fake ideologies disintegrate, what is going to be the strongest ship? What is going to be the Noah's Ark?
Well, that's it. That's why the NSA and Congressman and leaks, they fear anybody they don't control them to get a group together. So they fill leaders, period. So let me ask you this. What is your prediction? I know it's all dead reckoning. For Trump, what is the best scenario? What would you do to try to... What is the best path out of this?
How do we save Trump? I gotta ask you again.
Best path?
I gotta ask you again. It's dead reckoning, but how does Trump do this? He's here for another 3.5 years. He doesn't have to be.
Man,
you dick.
I have got an exciting new solution that nobody's ever thought of before. It's called, and you're gonna listen. I think you might react to this, but it's brand new. It's never been tried before. It's called apartheid.
Yeah, it's the thing from the past. This novel idea.
This brand new idea of us being a homogenous social class above all others that we dominate and are extracting wealth from. You know, brand new.
Brand fucking new. And I think that the danger here is that Nick's criticism of Trump is kind of correct.
Right.
You know, the criticism that he's a piece of shit and he is not a ideological, pure, hard right-wing person, is true. It's just that he's putting himself in as a proxy, as the alternative.
Right.
And in doing so, he's not really being clear that he's like, oh, also, when you get over to my side, I hate the Jews.
Right.
I hate Jewish people fundamentally.
Right.
And that is something that we are going to act on.
We're really going to be,
This new novel reactionary kind of thing we're going to do.
Brand new.
It involves getting rid of all those Jewish people.
Well, I mean, brand newly, though. In a brand newly way.
Yeah, he's presenting the, like, pure alternative to the Trump disappointment.
Yeah.
As himself.
That's the Alex trick, right? Everybody, if you make the argument, this thing...
That they ran him off. Susie Wiles didn't like him. But we're all living under that umbrella. Trump wouldn't have gotten in without Elon, in my view. What is your view on that? And so what is the Elon wild card there?
Well, what is interesting about Elon is introducing this America Party. I'm actually interested to see where that goes.
So, Alex, it's kind of like, can we just transfer this to Elon? Can we just do that? Maybe we can just pretend that Elon's Trump.
Man,
And Nick's take on it is not as cut and dry as the end of that clip might make it seem.
Yeah.
He thinks that Elon has some good potential as a guy who likes white people.
Right.
Quite a bit.
Right.
But also he's essentially an oligarch and
Right.
like is he going to be any different? Probably not.
I mean, yeah, your option is like, can we love bomb an oligarch into doing more whiteness stuff? Yeah, but eventually we'll run out of the same things to talk about, and he'll be like, I was on Epstein Island too, and we're right back where we started.
It's not a long-term solution, but
Yeah.
it might be a band-aid.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit of a way to pivot over into the actual next leader.
We'll see.
So I think that Alex, you can tell, is like, this sucks.
Yeah,
I fucking hate this.
He's been drinking again.
I don't know. He might just be really tired.
He could be.
Reserving judgment.
This feels very similar to the way that we have heard him speak in our previous episodes, wherein he had indulged.
Yes, that is true. There is a flavor.
There's a similarity, yeah.
But I'm not convinced just yet. I want to see some hatchets.
I get you. I'm on your team.
But he's bummed out, and like, this is the worst. Nick, on the other hand, is trying to explain to him, buddy, this is good.
This is the best day of our lives.
We can get people so much further to the right if we just play our cards right here.
Yeah.
With Trump disintegrating, it's actually presenting a real opportunity, especially in the way that he's disintegrating.
So wait, are you an accelerationist or what are you saying?
I don't know that I'm an accelerationist. I'm not rooting for the country to break apart, but I do believe that Trump occupying this seat is holding back something more right-wing. I think that Trump I'm maybe a political accelerationist, and what I mean by that is I don't want the worst-case scenario to happen for America to collapse so that then, I'm not an accelerationist in that way. But in terms of the GOP,
You want to wake people up, though. You want to have to wake them.
Yeah, I think the controlled opposition needs to be defeated. We need to accelerate the political controlled opposition.
So let's look at it this way. Why do they want you off the air? Let's just say it. The ADO runs it. That's the see it. What are they scared about? We're not trying to bring ourselves into this, folks. We're not Hunter S. Thompson, but it's true.
Jesus Christ.
Why do they want you off the air? Why do they want me off the air? What are we doing with the power structure for this?
Well, what they don't like about you is that you are an independent media outlet. You have too big of a studio, too big of an operation, too big of an audience. They want to control that. I think with me, I never had an operation as big as yours. We get into it at different times and different circumstances and things like that. I think what they fear about me, and I've seen it even on TikTok the other day, there was like this liberal kid, and he goes, the left is not talking about the rise of Nick Fuentes, and that's a problem. The left is starting to like Nick Fuentes because he criticizes Trump. And I hate saying my own name. I think it sounds like narcissistic. But what they fear about me is that what I am proposing is a novel and truly reactionary alternative to what we get even from the GOP. You know, in 16, they used to say, and maybe you remember this, but in 15 and 16, they would say they hated Ted Cruz more than Trump because they said Ted Cruz was a true believer. He's a true radical, Now, I don't think that's true, but there is this premise that they never feared Trump as much because they recognized that Trump was a deal maker, would make concessions. They recognized that Trump was not an ideologue. He really was a demagogue the whole time, by definition. Whereas me, my movement, being very young, being very fanatical, and being very radical, we do represent a threat in the sense that when all of these fake ideologies disintegrate, what is going to be the strongest ship? What is going to be the Noah's Ark?
Well, that's it.
survives
That's
the
why the
flooding?
NSA and documents have been leaks. They fear anybody they don't control that can get
Ready
a
to
bridge
roll.
built. So they fill leaders, period. So let me ask you this. What is your prediction? I know it's all dead reckoning for Trump. What is the best scenario? What would you do to try to... This is here for 3.5 years. What is the best path out of this?
How do we save Trump? I gotta ask you again.
Path?
I gotta ask you again. Instead of reckoning about how does Trump do this? He's here for another 3.5 years. He doesn't have to be.
Man,
You did.
I have got an exciting new solution that nobody's ever thought of before. It's called, and you're gonna listen. I think you might react to this, but it's brand new. It's never been tried before. It's called apartheid.
Yeah, it's the thing from the past. This novel
This
idea.
brand new idea of us being a homogenous social class above all others that we dominate and are extracting wealth from. You know, brand new.
Brand fucking new. And I think that the danger here is that Nick's criticism of Trump is kind of correct.
Right.
You know, the criticism that he's a piece of shit and he is not a ideological, pure,
Right.
hard right-wing person
Right.
is true. It's just that he's putting himself in as a proxy, as the alternative.
Right.
And in doing so, he's not really being clear that he's like, oh, also, when you get over to my side,
Right.
Turn left.
I hate the Jews.
Right.
I hate Jewish people fundamentally.
Right.
And that is something that we are going to act on.
We're really going to be, yeah.
This new novel reactionary kind of
Brand
thing
new.
we're going to do.
Brand new.
It involves getting rid of all those Jewish people.
Well, I mean, brand newly, though. In
Yeah.
a brand newly way.
Yeah, he's presenting the like pure alternative to the Trump disappointment
Yeah.
as himself.
That's the Alex trick, right? Everybody, if you make the argument,
Keep left,
this thing is
and
not
then
the thing it
turn
says
left.
it is, then yes, you are making accurate points. Whether or not I like the thing it says it is, it is not that thing. So we're in agreement, right? We're not arguing about what the thing is, though. Because once we argue about what the thing is, then we're not talking about whether or not Trump is what he says he is. We're talking about whether or not it's okay to eradicate the Jews.
Right.
And that's a different conversation.
That's what
Yeah.
Nick is trying to get people over to his side.
He's not what he says he is.
Yeah.
He's right. I agree with him. You're a good dude. Let's kill the Jews. Ah, God damn it again.
Turn left.
Oops.
Ah!
Yeah, and fundamentally, like what Nick is talking about, like about this being a big opportunity,
Yeah.
is that it's we can
Keep
funnel
right.
a ton of people much further
Yep.
to the right into these spaces if we just exploit this implosion correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And Alex, I think that he's a little bit outplayed. If I want to be as generous as possible.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't want that to be what happens, then he's being outplayed severely.
Yeah.
And I guess there is the possibility that just like he's kind of crashing his own ship in order to move things over to Nick.
Yeah.
That is possible.
It feels very much like, I don't know if that's on purpose, but it feels like this is Alex's proxy way of talking about himself. Of being like, is there any way to save me?
Yeah.
Is there any way to save what I do? Because I can't do the thing that I have been doing. Your thing is clearly working better at this point in time.
That's why we're still
That's
talking.
why we're talking.
Yeah.
You're crushing it. I want some of that crushing it. Can I get it without changing anything about me?
Right, and it's a shocking inverse of the relationship that he and Nick had earlier on, where Alex was trying to convince him to speak in code and stop hanging out with Gay and just cut it out with the Hitler stuff and we can make some money together, buddy.
Yeah.
Now it's the roles have essentially reversed.
Never. Oh man. Time passing. Never makes you feel good.
Keep left.
You look back and it's like that's not how it was supposed to go.
So Alex is bummed out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a disaster. And there's a lot of questions there. Why do you think he covered it up? What do you think's going to come out? How the Democrats think they can only limitedly expose him, but they're heavily involved. Where do you see that going?
I agree. I think they're going to keep pushing it, because this is the first scandal that's really hurt Trump. All the other stuff nobody really believed, the Russiagate, the Stormy Daniels, for the most part, that never left a mark because there was this assumption among the base that, look, the left is going to lie about Trump. They're going to try everything. They're throwing everything other than the kitchen sink and the rest of it. But this is something that it's just unavoidable. I mean, the Trump base, these people like Kash Patel, they played up the Epstein files for years. It's so brazen. So this is going to leave a mark. And now that the left has found something that is so effective, super effective, they're just going to hit this all day long. Now, fortunately for Trump, there's this summer recess for the Congress, so they can punt this. I don't know that that was even the best idea, because when the Congress reconvenes, guess what they're going to do? They're once again going to force the issue. So we're going to pick up in September in the next legislative session on this.
Yeah.
Keep
So
left.
I think that Nick is fundamentally missing a point, but I think it's somewhat intentional.
Yeah.
And that is that like the left has not discovered something that works. You guys just don't. You're not playing this time. All of those, like I mentioned earlier, all of those other scandals that Trump navigated fine.
Yep.
Was because he has a
Keep
robust, well-funded media machine in place that distracts everybody and is like, oh no, fake news, this is a Democratic hoax.
Yep.
If they had just had message discipline and done that from the beginning on this, this probably wouldn't be hurting Trump at all. It's not the left, it's you.
Yeah. Every single fucking time, all of you have been in a losing position. Your move has been, that guy's a pedophile. That's your move. That's been like in my back pocket, I've got the call that guy a pedophile. That move is taken away from you if your guy is a pedophile. And it doesn't matter if he is or isn't, because it didn't matter if what you were calling was a pedophile was or wasn't. What matters is, would it sound like it was in a conversation where I'm arguing with somebody? And now you're gonna lose.
Yeah, it's just they've reached the Mendoza line of what the right-wing media will do, and this is fully within their power.
Yep. This is all. I mean, in a way, you could also say, like, here's how we keep him from getting blackmailed. We say it's okay for him to do whatever he wants it to do.
It's one easy trick that could solve everything.
Yep.
So again, Nick is trying to explain to Alex that the glass is half full here, man.
Yeah. Opportunity.
I'm loving this.
Yes.
You know, some people look at this as dreadful. I look at this as kind of like momentum. This is an explosion of energy that can propel maybe something even more anti-establishment into the fore. You know, and people like liberals were pointing out, Trump is losing with the younger demographic. Trump's approval among the 18 to 25 is crashing out more than any other demo. The old people don't care, but the young people are furious about this. And the left
That's right.
said, oh,
He's
this is
the
great.
rebel, and this is the main issue. And he thought he had the political cachet to say, shut up. And a person with a 70 IQ would have known that was a disastrous move, which was the mental acuity of him and his advisors.
But in particular with the young people, and I agree, because he thought he could do it, but he didn't. The young people are leaving, and the left is telling us, oh, great, Trump is losing the youth. This is a great day for the left. But Trump is losing the youth not because the youth are going to the left. He's losing the youth because they're more right-wing than Trump. Trump has created a generation of Nick Fuenteses and Groypers
And that's my next
that are
question.
more...
I saw you talk about this, and I like Charlie Kirk. I'm not his enemy, and I think he's been brought along. But they're literally having struggle sessions now when you've been banned from their events. I've been there when you get taken out by police. The fact that they tried to ban you from the building only made you bigger. Do a little short thing on that.
Keep left.
Sure. Well, you know, last week they did this Turning Point struggle session on Israel. And what I said on my show is that for many years, back in 2019, I came at Turning Point USA as a critic from the right. Turning Point was considered the rightmost youth organization in the country. And they were the gladiators against the left. They were the most pro-Trump, the most right-wing. Then here comes the Groypers that are saying you're not right-wing enough on the social issues, on immigration, on identity, and in particular on Israel. And their first response back in 19 was to ban us. They banned me from their events. They kicked the Groypers out. They fired the Groypers that were sympathetic in their organization. And they tried to ignore us. They tried to purge us. They tried to pretend we didn't exist. Fast forward 6 years later, and their whole organization is filled with Groypers. Their events are filled with Groypers. The youth is about as right-wing as me. Maybe they're even more right-wing than me, even.
And if you
that's a classic quote, right? You know, if you're not a raging
Exit
conservative monster in your 20s, you have no heart. But if you're not a pointless, non-functional liberal in your 40s, you have no brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you're a washed up, sad, bankrupt guy whose business is about to be liquidated?
Go to South America.
Run.
Run.
Oh, man. I think that there's an indication in that clip of a talking point Nick wanted Alex to bring up. I think he wanted to bring up the struggle session thing.
Yep.
It's pretty specific wording that Alex introduces. Nick clearly has prepared thoughts on
Keep
this.
right.
It kind
And
of
then
feels
exit
like,
right.
oh, this was part of the thing that we're going to talk about this. I think that it's an
Exit
indication
right.
Nick calling some of the shots.
Yeah. I've practiced this in the mirror energy on some of the, yeah.
Set me up, tee me up, Alex.
Yep.
So there's also like just a bummer of a reality that is like we've taken your stuff.
Yeah.
We've taken these kind of center-right things pretty far center-right.
Yeah.
Like a Turning Point, like
Sure.
an InfoWars.
Yeah.
And we have infected all of it.
Yeah.
We have now pushed everything. We've exploited your obsession with free speech. We've exploited fears around lockdown and pandemic and all this stuff in order to move everything super far to the right.
Yeah.
We have forced you to bequeath power to us. And now your god, King Trump, is shown to have no clothes. And we're just gonna take over now.
It is so
Keep
much
left.
like, hey, y'all have been feeding these people some form of Diet Coke their entire lives. And if that's all you've had, then one sip of real Coke is going to blow your fucking mind. And that's what that's his pitch.
And so Nick is invested in not caring about Trump. Instead, he wants to find basically the next hit.
Yeah.
I don't think that Trump was all bad. I'm not a Trump hater. I think that he did a lot of good for the country, but he was never, in my opinion, he was always a first step. He was always going to hand the baton to somebody else. He was planting a seed. He was destroying institutions. He was kind of like a necessary first part of a long story. And so if we play our cards right and are smart, what happens next is we decouple from Trump, and like he did, we imagine what is the next step of this? What do we want? And we take the baton from Trump and from this administration, and we take it forward in 2028. We take it forward in 2032, and we look for a young avatar of this new movement that can run for office. Maybe as congressman.
Keep right.
Hey, I don't know anybody in particular. People say Thomas Massey. I don't think he'll be the guy. Dan Bilzerian has talked about running for office. Maybe it'll be somebody like him. Maybe it's somebody we haven't heard of yet. It could be somebody. This is a big country. It could be somebody that nobody even knows their name yet. He is a little, he's a little jocular, but I wouldn't underestimate him.
I'm not against him. It's like, dude, you got a vocabulary? It's like,
But yeah, I know what you mean. Hopefully, if he runs for office, maybe clean it up a little bit. Certainly clean up
well,
the
it's not
language.
that. What about you, Nick?
I might run for office at some point. I think at this point in time, I see myself more as like a vanguard. And I think I may be more powerful, not in a campaign. Because you get in a campaign, and then they turn it into,
No, I got it. You're more like John the Baptist out there, so.
You know John the Baptist. Yeah, I get it. Hey, Alex, I'm you.
Yeah.
I'm you,
Yeah.
but harder.
Yeah. Yep.
Keep left.
I feel like Alex was really trying to be like, could you announce a run?
Yeah.
Maybe we could-
Yeah. Some sort of set him up like, now we can get you out of my media space, put you into a place where you have rules on what you can and can't say.
Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
who's a new exciting young candidate that you're interested in? Let's pretend that you weren't Ye's campaign manager like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like,
We've been here.
we know who you want to promote. Come on, stop fucking playing games.
Come on.
So Alex is like, I need to take a break.
Yeah.
I think he had to pee or something.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But they go to break. They come back, and Alex is like, this is not a debate. this is awake.
I appreciate Nick Fuentes, really smart guy. He was and on X. We're in this in about 30 minutes. We're going to take a few calls right now. Call it a debate. I mean, it is a discussion. I would say more of a wake. And I don't want to agree with him totally that Trump's done. I think there's some chance to extricate.
He's woke.
Keep left.
As I said 3+ weeks ago, before it came out, this is Trump. And going against what he promised to do, the Epstein thing has created a wedge the Democrats are coming after. Then look at all the other issues and how he's so much better than them on others. And I want to keep the House, I want to keep the Senate.
I want to hold on to this. Please, Nick, tell me I can. Please, I just want to keep my Trump toy.
We're just never going to get to a spot where it's like, guys, the Democrats aren't actually your enemy. They've been nonstop trying to just be like, can we live together? I just want to live in the same space as you. You guys are your own enemies. Your imaginary enemies are your own. Your real enemies are absolutely your own.
Yep.
And you're going to eat each other alive with this Trump bullshit.
Yeah, and that's essentially what this
And then
conversation
exit
is
right.
actually about.
Yeah.
It is about, can we not
Exit right.
destroy this fun costume we've been wearing?
Yep.
The hats
Go
are
straight
fun.
on.
And Nick's like, you got to put away the hat.
You
man."
got to put away the hat. It's time to grow up. It's weird to hear this from a 19-year-old Alex. It's time to grow up.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I think he has a point that is obvious, but also entirely invalidating of their entire point.
Right.
And that is that, hey, man, if Trump would just do more crazy shit, we'd be fine with all this.
What?
You know, it's like you said, and we're kind of in agreement on this. Even if all of this has happened, if he went after his opponents
Get
like
ready to
Clinton and
turn right.
Obama and Comey and Clapper, and if he raised some of these departments and agencies to the ground and he did the mass deportations, he would be forgiven. You know, he's a lame duck, and that could cut both
Turn
ways.
right.
You could say nothing new can come out of it. He can't win again. At the same time, you would say he could kind of burn the house down on his way out, meaning not necessarily destructive, but he could really go for it, and he could really go for the institutions and really go for these bad people. And this is a crisis. This is like a hot potato. He has it. Pass it to the next person. You know, double it and pass it to Hillary Clinton. Why is he caught holding the bag and dying with the Epstein thing? So
Essentially, Nick, his position this whole time has been when Alex is like, can we
Keep
salvage
left.
Trump?
Yeah.
It's like,
And then
no.
turn
Yeah.
left.
But his actual position is, yeah, if Trump would kick all of the immigrants
Turn
out of the
left.
country,
Right.
if he'd lock up all of the semi-powerful people on the left,
Right.
if he would destroy all of these parts of the government,
Yeah.
if he would do that dictator shit, like, for real,
Yeah.
I wouldn't care if he's an Epstein file. He can do whatever the fuck he
I
wants.
already want him to be a dictator. Why would I give a shit if he's raped children?
Yeah, my problem is that he's not doing this other shit that I want him to do.
Yep.
So, in effect, Nick is giving Alex the answer. How do we save Trump? Trump could be saved
Right.
if he would just
Right.
be Hitler.
If he was, here's the thing. In reality, there is no way to save Trump. In fiction, if Trump were a different person, the person that we lied to people and said he was, then yes, I would have accepted anything he does.
Yep.
That's what we're talking about. He is not that person.
Yep.
He's proved it beyond a reasonable doubt. That's all we can say.
But it makes the caring about this seem a little bit stupid.
Yeah.
Because you obviously
Keep
don't
right.
care
Yeah. And
about
then
Epstein.
turn
You don't
right.
care about what any of this portends.
Right.
You would forgive him.
Yeah,
if
this
he was
is an
doing the things
opportunity.
you want.
Turn right.
And that's like, I think that most of the people who are attracted to Nick Fuentes, most of the people who are his fans,
Yeah.
they understand that.
Yeah.
They aren't disillusioned by some like, oh no, this is calculated.
Right. No, it's ruthless practicalism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
Get
think
ready
that
to
is
turn left.
a place where he can say shit like this and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
On its face, it's invalidating of
left.
pretending to care.
Yeah.
But his audience doesn't demand that he pretend to care.
Yeah, they don't really care.
No.
And even then, even what he's describing is like, here's what he could do. Give heads. People are calling for heads.
have
They
arrived
want
for
heads.
destiny.
His head seems
Your rat
pretty
guidance
obvious
is
to
now
take right
finished.
now. So if he gives people other heads, they'll maybe go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On some level, that is basically the subtext. So they take some calls, and they get a call from a Nick fan.
Okay.
Just forgive me a little bit. I'm a little nervous since you guys are both my inspirations, especially Nick.
Yeah.
I just recently became a boyfriend. I don't mean to take y'all's time, but
Listen,
my
stop apologizing. You're on the air. Just what's your point?
Okay, so my question to you, Alex, was if Nick were by chance to start a boyfriend war against like the Trump movement, like would you be a part of the movement? Because I'm getting tired of these Judeo-Catholic, Judeo-Christians in the office dictating our government, and I just...
All right, let me respond to that. 3 weeks ago, I came out day one and said this is BS within hours of a break. And I've tried to figure it out since. So I am at war with the Republican establishment trying to control Trump. So it's not, if Nick wants some war against Trump that he kind of already has, I would then gauge it and say, do I agree with it? He kind of already did it. So I think you're kind of like behind the curve here. I think we're already here, and we're saying we want to get Trump steered back. Can he be salvaged? We're having a discussion about this.
That's not the discussion that's happening. And what this caller is asking is essentially a take MAGA and kick the Jews out.
Yep.
That's the Groyper War.
That's what we're here for.
Are you in favor of that, Alex? Alex can't not understand that these are the conversations that are being had. This is what this caller is asking him.
Yeah. Listen, we're all people, but I don't believe that. Should we purge non-people from our group? Cut to 6 months later. You know, we purged a lot of these non-people from our group, but I'm starting to think there's some more non-people in here. Let's get rid of these guys, too. Mm-hmm. And there we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that Alex is either delusional about what the conversation he's having on the show is, or he wants it to be this. And either is unacceptable.
I think that's an interesting, like, if he does mean kind of what he's saying, then he would have some intentionality behind this of being like, I am not openly saying I'm on the Groyper side of the war, but do you see me having this conversation and saying, you're totally right, Nick. I think you're right. I think you're right, Nick. Nick, I think you're right. Like, you would understand what's happening now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a feeling of hedging a little bit. And it's disgusting. So, Nick, I mean, look, for whatever, I think I've been thinking about continuity so much.
Okay.
And Alex is completely disconnected from continuity.
Right.
Nothing matters. Tomorrow doesn't exist. Yesterday is an imagination.
Right.
But Nick kind of has to live in reality.
Sure.
And so Trump said, I don't want your support.
Right.
And that doesn't go away just because you want it to go away. And so Nick's like, I'm going to remember that.
My first inclination is we have to punish them, you know, and I know people didn't like my tactics last year, but my first instinct when I heard this is when Trump said, I don't want your support, my first thought is that needs to be on billboards. That needs to be projected at rallies. Come to the midterms. People need to say and remember that I don't want your support.
No, you're right. Our only hope is killing his hubris. Like, if there's any salvaging him, which is actually working some, he tried to say, oh, take the vaccine. People backlash. He backed off.
Exactly.
So is Trump, gut level, is Trump salvageable?
No. Gut level, no.
That's like, I would say probably the 20th time he's asked that. It is just repetitive. Please.
I mean, this is such Alex being that kid whose daddy does everything for him. Like, even listening to it now is like, I know, but I'm going to ask you again because maybe this time the answer is going to be different. Mm-hmm. And do you know why I do that? Because eventually it will be different. Eventually I'll wear you down and I will get to ride on that little fucking horse because you'll give me that quarter.
Yeah.
That's going to happen.
I think that's one very good possibility.
Yeah.
That he's just like, I think if I just keep asking, it'll change.
Yeah.
Or he really, really wants this to look like a conversation where there are possible... different viewpoints.
Is it a both sides conversation?
Yeah, and it's not. He just keeps saying the same thing over and over again, and Nick keeps saying no.
Is there any way the climate isn't changing?
No.
Okay. Now I like that. But is there any way that the climate could be not changing?
No.
Oh.
And now we brand this conversation as a debate on
Yeah,
climate
exactly.
change. Yeah, it's either really, really stupid or an expression of him just like, I'll get my way eventually.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, I think there's something so interesting about Nick being like, we got to put this on billboards.
Yeah.
And Alex is like, yeah, that'll get Trump in line. And Nick's point is not, let's get Trump in
We will
line.
not get him in line.
We will get another leader.
We are punishing him for failure. That's called holding somebody accountable.
We will use that against him to boost someone else.
Right, right. We are not helping Trump do anything anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So Alex is like, but what about the Dems? What about the Dems?
Do they even exist right now?
Not to Nick.
How do the Democrats try to connect him to Epstein when they're completely convicted of it? It is a he without sin throw the first stone.
I don't know that that applies. I mean, if they're all guilty of this, then they all got to go. You know what I mean? Like, we could say the Democrats are hypocrites, but then we could say Trump is a hypocrite.
No, I agree. But how do they use Epstein on him when they're confirmed involved?
Yeah, again, I think it depends on what's in the files, which we don't know. But at the same time, Trump runs the DOJ, so the onus is on him. You know, I mean, I'm really just not interested in that. When people say Democrats and Republicans, I say you're repeating yourself. You're talking about the same people. So
Republic, Crips, and Demobloods.
Yeah, there we go. Republicans.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura's back, baby. Yeah, this is an unfortunate instance where, like, Alex, you can't really argue with this. This is what
you say. According to what you say, this is what you say.
Yeah, this is what your career is based on.
Yeah.
And the person throwing your shit back at you is saying, who cares?
Yeah. This is almost like a murder interrogation. There's just so much like, we know. We know, right? Yeah, but what if I don't think I was there that night. You were. Mm-hmm. We know, I don't think I was. You should ask for a lawyer. That's what you should be doing.
Barnes.
Exactly. Alex should be asking for a lawyer right now.
So one of the biggest allures, obviously, of Trump as a political figure is this idea that he is anti-elite.
Sure.
He's anti-oligarch.
Yeah. Gold toilet having people tend to be anti-oligarch.
Yeah. And so Nick points out the very obvious thing that Trump is a fucking oligarch.
Oh, what?
On the trade, on cutting deep state funding. I mean, there is a lot of good happening, Nick. That's what's so painful about this.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't think you can treat it as a singular issue. And you talk about oligarchs. I mean, Trump, by definition, is an oligarch. He is a billionaire. I mean, look at his cabinet. Linda McMahon, Howard Lutnick, Scott Bessent. Scott Bessent comes from Soros. He worked for Soros. I mean, if they're not